Hello, good morning everyone. I am Maria Cecilia Perez, teaching at Zambog Elementary School from the district of Saraga. My task today is to discuss to you what is lecture demonstration method, its characteristics, and steps in the lecture demonstration teaching. Let's define first the lecture method. So lecture method is a traditional method. It is the oldest teaching method given by philosophy of idealism. As used in education, the lecture method refers to the teaching procedure involved in clarification or explanation of the students of some major idea. This method lays emphasis on the penetration of contents. Teacher is more active and students are passive. It is used to motivate, clarify, expand, and review information. It is one-way communication, easy to use in large group, and it saves time and money. Thus, we can say that when the teacher takes the help of a lengthy short explanation in order to clarify his ideas or some fact, that explanation is termed as lecture or lecture method. What is demonstration method? The dictionary meaning of the word demonstration is the outward showing of a feeling. It is termed as doing method. It is easy to understand because proofs are shown to the students. Here, more sense organs are involved. It develops psychomotor and cognitive domain of the students. A description and explanation by experiment, so also logically to prove the truth. It leads experiences from concrete to abstract. So to define, it is a physical display of the form, outline, or a substance of object or events for the purpose of increasing knowledge of such objects or events. Demonstration involves showing what or showing how. Demonstration is a relatively uncomplicated process in that it does not require extensive verbal elaboration. The diagram here shows the equation lecture method plus demonstration method is equivalent to lecture demonstration method. So what is lecture demonstration method? To begin with, this method includes the merits of lecture method and demonstration method. This method follows maxims from concrete to abstract, wherein the students observe the demonstration critically and try to draw inferences. Thus, with the help of lecture demonstration method, their power of observation and reasoning are also exercised. The teacher performs the experiment in the class and goes on explaining what she does. It takes into account the active participation of the student and is thus not a lopsided process like the lecture method. And so the important principle on which this method works is truth is that works. Here are the characteristics of good lecture demonstration. Number 1. Demonstration should be visible to all the students. The size of the display aids should be appropriate according to the size of the class. Number 2. Demonstration should be clearly explained. Vague words should not be used by explaining the content. For giving clear explanation of ideas, a lecture demonstration method can be supplemented with other supplementary charts, models, pictures, videos, and graphs. While giving the demonstration, it is needed that one idea should be focused and explained to the student. Number 3. Demonstration should be given neatly. Arrangement of equipment to be used should be done systematically. Number 4. Demonstration method should be simple and speedy. Important points should be emphasized more, whereas less time should be spent on things which are known to students. And lastly, Students should be asked to write their observations so that at least they can explain the process with the results. And now, let's discuss the steps needed to conduct a lecture com demonstration lesson. Number 1. Planning and preparation. The teacher should prepare a plan which should include the objectives, concepts to be explained, and experiments to be demonstrated. The questions to be asked from the student should also be planned. The experiment should be rehearsed under the conditions popular to the classroom. Collection and arrangement of apparatus should also be done in advanced planning mode. Number 2. Introduction of the lesson. The teacher should introduce the lesson in a motivating and interesting way. A problem may be presented before the class, the solution of which is needed to be found through experimentation. Number 3. Presentation of the subject matter. The lesson should be presented in an interesting manner. The teacher should use examples and illustrations related to daily life. Teaching aids relevant to the lesson may be used. The experiment should be demonstrated at an appropriate time during the presentation. While giving demonstration, questions should be raised which help the students to understand the principles on which it is based. Simple and clear language should be used. Number 4. Experimentation. The teacher should conduct demonstration with the help of the students. He should ask them questions at each step to ensure that students observe the essential features carefully. The teacher should also motivate the students to think about hows and whys of the activity conducted. And lastly, the Blackboard summary. The essential points of the lesson, including the purpose of the demonstration, the steps, and finally the result, should be listed briefly on the blackboard.
Good day, everyone. Here are the advantages and disadvantages, or the merits and demerits, of lecture cum demonstration method. The advantages of lecture cum demonstration method. First is economical. This method is economical as it helps in economizing resources. In this method, there is a careful use of our materials being used in the teaching learning process for us to convey information, and we can generate understanding at the same time interest among our learners. Lecture cum demonstration is a psychological method as the learners are shown concrete things. In this method, learners will not just into imagination of what they hear, but also they can actually see what is being demonstrated. This method is useful where the apparatus to be handled is costly and sensitive to break. At the same time, when experiment involves danger, difficulty, and complex operation, it gives the learners the opportunity to access into actual demonstration with the use of the materials, most specifically in science experiments. This method involves the active participation on the part of both the teacher and the learners. Also, it saves time and energy. So, in this method, learners can have the opportunity to ask questions, and this method can be used to teach learners with individual differences. It is also helpful to promote useful discussion, improve student observational skill, and reasoning power. So it is helpful and useful in a sense that as demonstrator or as a teacher, we reach the purpose of our discussion on what should be imparted into our learners. And as a demonstrator, our learners observes us and gains the idea of what the topic we discussed is about. Learners were also motivated to observe and absorb the informations in the entire process of the given topic being discussed. This method is useful for all types of learners. More efficient method, helpful for teacher to create and maintain interest and eagerness of the learners. So, sa method nga ini, very important gid ang role ni teacher or sang demonstrator sa pag-hit sang iyang nga goal sa pag-impart sang knowledge sa mga learners regarding the topic being discussed or demonstrated. So those are the advantages of lecture cum demonstration method. This time, let us know what are the disadvantages or the demerits of lecture cum demonstration method. So first is visibility. Visibility is the main problem for a teacher because all the learners may not be able to see the details and the results of a demonstration. The next disadvantage of lecture cum demonstration method is the speed of experiment. So either too fast or too slow speed of demonstration sometimes may create trouble, that we may encounter unexpected problems from our learners, especially kung lain-lain ang comprehension sang aton nga learners or listeners. This method also ignore individual difference. So this method totally ignores the main principle of psychology. For not all the learners are good at seeing and hearing. At the same time, it provides no scope for learning by doing. For the learners are only observing the teacher who performed the demonstration. Next disadvantage of lecture cum demonstration method is that it hinder the progress. This method somehow hinder the development of laboratory skills among the students, and it is not useful for developing scientific attitude, for it is the teachers or the demonstrators who does the demonstration. And yes, this method may sometimes hinder our learners' progress. It's because they are just into listening and observing of what is being performed. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of lecture cum demonstration method. Thank you everyone for listening. So for further understanding about lecture cum demonstration, let us proceed to our next presenter.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mayflower Becudo, and I'm going to present to you our learning activity sheet applying the lecture cum demonstration method. Our topic is from Mathematics 10, illustrating the combination of objects. The learning competency of our topic is illustrate the combination of objects. Our lesson objectives are define and illustrate combination. First, let's proceed with the background information for learners. As per lecture cum demonstration method emphasizes, in every subject, the lesson should start with proper motivation of the students. It is more useful to introduce the lesson in a situational way which would make the student realize or the students realize the importance of the topic. So here we have the motivation part. Example, do you like halo-halo? This is for a printed modular learning. Do you like halo-halo? Imagine that you are preparing a halo-halo. So they're just going to imagine because it is printed. Example of the contents are 1 scoop sweet jackfruit, 1 scoop ube halaya, 1 scoop sweet banana, 1 scoop nata de coco, 1 scoop gulaman, 1 cup of shaved ice, 2 scoops of evap milk, and 2 scoops of sugar. So here, the teacher or the text would emphasize that the order in which the ingredients are added in the container doesn't matter. It is still a halo-halo and the taste is the same given the specified amount of measurement. So, if the order doesn't matter, then it is called combination. Muna siya. So, if if it is face-to-face classes, so probably sa motivation na part, the teacher could assign per group to bring one of the ingredients, then the teacher will perform it on the class while the learners are observing. So, thus, with the help of lecture cum demonstration method, their power of observation and reasoning are also exercised. Kay ginaobserbaran nila mo. So, ang demerit naman ni sang amo ni nga klase motivation applying the lecture cum demonstration method is that it provides no scope for learning by doing. For the students are only observing and the teacher is the one who is performing. So the teacher performs the experiment in the class and goes on explaining what she does. So probably in this case, so si teacher lang gid ang naga-explain, si teacher lang gid ang naga-perform. So ang students is just observing. So by observing, they will just come up with the conclusion or realization regarding the topic. After motivation is the presentation of the lesson. Here, the definition of combination is given, then followed by more examples. As per lecture Cum-Demonstration method emphasized also that to make the lesson interesting, the teacher may not be very rigid to remain within the prescribed course. Rather, think of some situation wherein the students could relate with. Like here, I used in my example is about TikTok. Since learners na to nowadays no are fond with the TikTok application. So here in my example is that your school create a TikTok dance competition to maximize students' talent. Each class should have two representatives. Suppose in your class there are three of your classmates who can do the challenge. They are Anna, Joe, and Sophia. You must choose two out of three of your best TikTokers. You might ask how many ways can you select two representatives from that set. Each possible selection would be an example of combination. So the complete list of possible selections would be Anna and Joe, Anna and Sophia, and Joe and Sophia. So here, even you're going to interchange the two representatives from each selection, like Anna and Joe, to Joe and Anna, it's still the same. So the students will realize, gani pariho lang sila. So in the face-to-face naman, if it's in the face-to-face class, so probably the teacher may ask first, who among you here is a TikTokeres, no? Or fond of the TikTok application. So as to draw active participation from the students. No? So ang names na sa example, so the names of the students in the class may also use in the example para at least no makarelate pagid sila. Another example, for the learners to master the rule in combination wherein order doesn't matter, situational example could help. Examples sa instruction naton, tell whether the given situations below show that order is important or not. Smiley face if order is important. Sad face if order is not important. So write your answer on the blank provided before the number. So as you can see here in each item, may ara ako nga open and close parentheses. This could be or probably the support of the teacher for the students to come up with the correct answer. No, kay in the first glimpse of a student, isa ka statement, no, hindi pa siya makam up. Since example siya, mahatag sa danay guide. So example number 1, winning in a running event. So in a running event, there is a specific places like first, second, third placer. So ano siya? Order is important. Then number 2, selecting 5 people to form a group for research study. So whoever you select first or last, he or she is still a member of your group. So may guide ng student maka-answer that, order is not important. Number 3, opening a combination lock. So correct arrangement of the combination is required to unlock. So arrangement man Japon, no? Kinanglan sakto ang pagplastar sang number or letters man dira. So order is still important. So amo na siya. So kung sa face-to-face basis naman kita, So probably si teacher no will ask no students to answer using their face no para makadraw naman kita active participation sa mga estudyante naton or sa learners naton. So example no, if you have an idea of the answer, just raise your hand and show me your face if it is happy or sad. Kung happy face, the order is important. Sad face if the order is not important. Okay? So here, ang open and close parentheses, still the guide for the students to draw or to come up with the correct answer. So si teacher na siya magbahala for example, winning in a running event. So, 'di ba, no? In the running event, so there is a specific places. Okay, like first place, second place, third place. So, ano na siya? So, do guide na ni teacher. So, para in the lecture cum demonstration, hindi lang siya nakastick sa lecture, lang gid na si teacher, lang gid ang center. No, si teacher ang naghahambal most of the time, but it draws an interaction or participation of the students through asking students some questions. Ano na siya? So here additional information regarding the topic. So the number of combinations and objects taken hour at a time is expressed in the following ways. Ano na siya? Where combination of n taken hour at a time is number of combinations and total number of elements in a set are number of elements that can be selected from a set. Exclamation point is a factorial. So factorial noted as exclamation point is a product of the positive integers less than or equal to n. So example there for factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 equals 24. So previously na learn na nila sa sa counting principle of counting and also in the permutation. So the previous examples are just example on the idea of the combination that order doesn't matter. So here in the example, so this is now the example on how to illustrate the combination. So study the example below to give you clear understanding on how to illustrate the combination. Example, illustrate all combinations in a given set taken two at a time. Lira, Justine, Anna, Max, Boy. So the solutions has the different methods. Okay, we can illustrate the combinations of the given example using any of the methods. First, we have the listing method. B, we have the tree diagram. C, we have the formula. So in the listing method, we just list down the combinations. In the tree diagram, of course, you show the diagram of the combinations. And in the C, which is using the formula, is to solve given the formula. Generalization. In lecture cum demonstration method, teacher assists students to make generalization. But in the face-to-face case, no, teacher could ask right questions in order for the students to come up for a generalization of the topic. But the demerit naman here is that the teacher is in hurry to the point that the students could have no time to arrive at the generalization from effect. So, dugayan si teacher kaulat sa students to come up for a generalization. So, si teacher na lang nag-generalize. We are now in the activity proper. Activity 1. Tell whether the given situations below are combination or not. Write combination if it is a combination and not combination if it is not. Write your answers on a separate sheet of paper. So we have here number 1, forming triangles so from 6 given points with no 3 of which are collinear. Number 2, two-digit numbers can be formed from numbers 2, 4, 6, and 8. 3. The committee of 6 persons is to be formed from 7 men and 5 women. In how many ways can this be done? 4. Assigning seats to guests at an engagement party. 5. Unlocking a phone using a 5-digit passcode. So since the lecture cum demonstration method is not child-centered, it makes no provision for individual differences. All types of students, including slow learners and genius, have to proceed with the same speed. Activity 1, letter B. Illustrate all possible combinations. Write your answer on your answer sheet. So here, as you can see, in each item, there's a specific method that the students will use in order to illustrate the possible combinations. So this is one of the demerits of the lecture cum demonstration method, wherein the teacher controls the flow of the class. So students were not given freedom on choosing. Here, in this case, the students were not given freedom on choosing what method they like to use. So here, kay nakaspecified na kung ano nga method ang gamito nila sa number 1, sa number 2, kag sa number 3. Activity 2. To summarize what you have learned in this lesson, answer the following questions. Number 1, what is combination? Number 2, how do you illustrate the combination of objects? Number 3, for you, what is the most convenient method to use? Thus, with the help of lecture cum demonstration method, the students' power of observation and reasoning are also exercised. So number 5, reflection. So how can the concept of combination help in solving real life problems or in formulating conclusions and making wise decisions? So that is the reflection on the topic that is given or being illustrated to the students. That's all for our learning activity sheet applying the lecture cum demonstration method. Thank you for listening and have a good day.